Hi, my name is Nishant Shah.
And my name is Adi Patel.
We are from Carewood Day School in Tampa, Florida, and it is a pleasure to be pitching Rolls-Royce Holding Company to you today. Our recommendation is a buy to hold with a price target of £10 and 51 pence over 12 to 24 months, representing a 36% upside.
Now you may be asking, what is Rolls-Royce Holdings?
Contrary to popular belief, Rolls-Royce Holdings is not a luxury car company. In fact, Rolls-Royce is a British multinational company founded by Charles Rolls and Henry Royce in 1904. They offer multiple offerings, including civil aerospace services, defense services, power system services, and new market services. It's currently led by CEO Tufan Erginbilgic, formerly of BP. Some major statistics for the company include a 12% market share in commercial airline engines, approximately 50,000 employees worldwide, and 2024 revenues of £18.9 billion.
Why invest in Rolls-Royce? Unique innovations. Rolls-Royce is a leader in innovation, currently working on the UltraFan engine set to reduce fuel consumption of engines and carbon emissions by 25%. Further, they have made advancements in SMRs or small modular nuclear reactors for clean energy solutions.
Rolls-Royce has a widening competitive moat. Their industries have high capital investment barriers to entry. Rolls-Royce has long-term contracts and supplies aftermarket services through their Total Care program, all of which ensures consumer loyalty. They have a large market share and have stable defense contracts.
Rolls-Royce is undergoing corporate restructuring in which CEO Tufan Erginbilgic is boosting profitability massively. Through cost-cutting, layoffs, and focusing on core businesses, Tufan has led Rolls-Royce to improve margins, reduce debt, and increase revenue.
Finally, industry progression and demand for sustainable and efficient aviation provided by Rolls-Royce's products, as well as increased engine flying hours, increased defense budgets, and rising demand for backup power solutions all show promise for increasing demand overall for Rolls-Royce products.
Stock summary. Our recommendation is to buy and hold Rolls-Royce for 12 to 24 months with expected growth of 36% to a price of £10.51. Notice how Rolls-Royce was underperforming the S&P 500 during the 2022 year, but then in 2023, Rolls-Royce experienced a sharp upturn due to a corporate restructuring leading to a huge boost in their stock price, with a 484% gain compared to the S&P's 21% growth. This is further supported by a year's exceptional financials and increased revenues, with still room for growth as indicated by expected earnings, innovation, and increased industry valuations.
All four of Rolls-Royce's major sectors have seen great boost in industry size. For starters, civil aerospace is projected to have a CAGR of 7.2% from 2024 to 2030. There's an increase in air travel demand globally and post-pandemic and an increase in overall flying hours. Plus, there is an increased demand for fuel-efficient engines. The emerging economy in this space is China, and a characteristic of industry is high capital investment for entry.
Second, in defense, the industry has an expected CAGR of 6.4% between 2024 and 2029. This is due to increasing defense spending and aimed at bolstering UK's outdated military capabilities, such as investment in advanced weaponry, cybersecurity, and modernization programs.
Finally, in power systems, the industry is expected to grow at a CAGR of 7.6% from 2025 to 2037 due to the transition from carbon high emissions to clean energy and decarbonization. Rolls-Royce is making high investments in hydrogen fuel cells, battery storage, and net zero carbon solutions, as is the industry. So how will Rolls-Royce remain competitive in this ever increasing industry? Our moat analysis revealed a widening moat for Rolls-Royce through innovation in the UltraFan engine program with a greater fuel efficiency of 25% and SMRs facilitating the transition from carbon high emissions to nuclear energy and heavy investment in R&D. It will allow Rolls-Royce to retain its competitive edge by offering newer and better products. High switching costs for airlines and governments is a major characteristic of the industries that Rolls-Royce operates in, and total care contracts, which allow airlines to pay for maintenance based on the number of hours flown, is an enticing model for many companies, attracting money customers. Finally, product differentiation. Rolls-Royce's Trent line stands apart. Trent XWB offers 15% lower fuel consumption. Trent 1000 improves fuel efficiency by 20%, and Trent 700 have a market share of 50% in the A330 market. And in defense, they have major contracts with the United Kingdom Navy, especially with nuclear submarines, United Kingdom Department of Defense, and European defense. Due to our widening moat analysis, our Porter's Five Forces chart revealed few major threats besides bargaining power of suppliers due to high integration costs and long-term contracts, as well as the threat of new entrants, mostly in burgeoning markets like China, where state-sponsored investments may occur.
Financial analysis. Profitability. Revenue increased from 11.2 billion in 2021 to 18 billion in 2024, representing a 68.5% increase. Operating margins also increased from 5% to 15% from 2021 to 2024, and earnings increased from a loss of 1 billion in 2022 to profitability to 2 billion in 2024. Growth of assets increased from 28 billion in 2021 to 35 billion in 2024, where operating cash flow and free cash flow turned positive in the time frame between 2021 and 2024. Regarding the balance sheet, debt declined and equity increased. This shows Rolls-Royce's recent performance is a turnaround, positioning it for future growth. Valuation. Our target price is a £10.51 per share for Rolls-Royce Holdings, which is an upside of 36%. Rolls-Royce target price, we found this using the net income and outstanding shares to calculate the EPS, using a target multiple of 32.4 PE, which is an average between the current PE of Rolls-Royce Holdings and the industry average. We assumed a 2026 EPS of 0.32 pounds per share based on the current EPS of 0.3 and a median EPS growth forecast of 8%. We found 4 competitors closely related companies to Rolls-Royce Holdings, and using their PE ratios, we found the comparable average. We noticed the comparable average is below the current PE ratio of Rolls-Royce Holdings. Rolls-Royce Holdings' current PE ratio is 25.7, lower in comparison to the industry average as well as the comparable average. This suggests that Rolls-Royce is undervalued and has massive potential for future growth. Rolls-Royce having a strong order intake, government-backed nuclear initiatives, and increased civil aviation demands, positioned well for the long term.
Here are some major risks in investing in Rolls-Royce. First, the impact of tariffs and trade barriers on global sales, which may lead to increased costs. Mitigation. Rolls-Royce is expanding manufacturing facilities globally, including in the United States, avoiding tariffs. Also, majority of Rolls-Royce's business comes from outside of the United States, another way to avoid tariffs. Global trade barriers may also cause increased reliance on supply chain materials like titanium. The mitigation for this being the ongoing renegotiation currently of supplier contracts by Rolls-Royce. Our second major risk is intensifying competition. Increasing competition from other current aerospace giants. Mitigation. Rolls-Royce produces fuel-efficient engines that other companies can't compete with right now. They have high market share and customer loyalty currently in wide-body aircraft specifically. Second, state-sponsored capital investments from burgeoning economies like China. In the situation that China were to invest, a high capital investment would be needed, which is a mitigation for this. You would have to then beat Rolls-Royce's market share, efficient engines, and their customer loyalty, which will be hard to do.
ESGs. Rolls-Royce are in the 95th percentile in ESGs, which is incredible considering that they're in the aerospace and defense industry, which is lucratively known for high carbon emissions. Additionally, they have a goal of net zero by 2030. Project Sunrise saves 39,000 tons of CO2, and they have development in low or zero emission products. Additionally, all our Rolls-Royce civil aero engines are compatible with 100% sustainable aviation fuels. Additionally, they are constantly reducing emissions of their engines every year.
Rolls-Royce is also fulfilling its social duties. They partnered with educational institutions to promote STEM education. They support the Wings for Her program in India, which offers support for underprivileged girls. They've donated £1.6 million to schools. They have training programs fostering inclusive workplace culture, and they have initiatives focused on increasing diversity.
In governments, they have Environmental Governance Council, multiple financial oversight committees, and a board of varied backgrounds, 9 out of 12 independent non-execs, and a gender pair of 6-6.
Artificial intelligence. Rolls-Royce is using artificial intelligence to advance its business operations. Currently, AI is being used to help develop complex aviation and power solutions in programs like the SMR, UltraFan, and Sustainable Aviation Fuels. They've also created the Digital Twins program, which creates virtual replicas of physical engines. It takes in data, and machine learning is used to analyze when it is time to bring in an engine for maintenance. AI Boroscope automates complex engine inspection tasks, reducing inspection times by up to 75% and saving millions of dollars. Due to all of this, unique innovation like UltraFan and SMRs, widening competitive moats, high barriers to entry, long-term contracts, strong aftermarket services, large market share, increasing revenue, corporate restructuring, industry progression, increased demand for all products on all sectors, airlines prioritizing low-carbon solutions, increased defense budgets, and a low valuation compared to other companies in the industry, we recommend a buy. Thank you.